there's so many movies to be, to talk about, and I know Ali is super excited to get started, so I'm just gonna let him
Woo!
like
Amazing. I
start.
got my boba tea ready for today. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Um, Hikari. So
Yeah.
a common theme of your work is an
Hmm.
outsider who doesn't fit in, feeling lonely at times.
Right.
Is that part of your journey and who you are?
You know, I must say, probably yes. I'm very outgoing and very. I make friends everywhere, but I think in that process, I learned so much about people, humanity, and how open or closed off people can be, right? And so, yeah, I must say the answer is definitely yes. I don't realize it though, because when you start writing, stories, and you just think about the character, and then next thing you know, they're all going on a journey, just like me. I'm
Wow.
not going on the trips. So,
Um,
yeah,
yes, I love how your films are so slice of life too. My
thank you.
girlfriend said that when we started watching 37 Seconds together, she was saying
Mm.
that she thought it was a documentary at first.
Oh,
And then
wow.
as the story progressed, she was like, wow, this is an amazing film. But it's just so cool how real that film is and how all your films and
Mm.
have that touch of reality. Why do you go for that approach when making movies?
Well, first of all, I noticed you have a DV Blu-ray for 37 seconds. That's epic.
Woo!
Woo! That's incredible there. I love it. Thank you. Thank
Ah,
you for your contribution.
yes. You know it's hard to find here. Why is it not in the
Yeah,
United States? Please
yeah,
tell us.
for sure. Um, I think for me, it goes really in a long journey of how can I contribute to this world,
Mhm.
letting people know, and letting people really kind of opening up to people and say we all exist in a different forms, right? Whether you are Japanese or Lebanese, or you're
Mhm.
in a wheelchair, or you're the foreigner living in different countries. um, I think more we could create this world where people can understand each other, and then treat each other with compassion and kindness. Really, but really understanding who we are as a human being could potentially lead to a world peace. Is kind of my goal. Because with that respect and love, and the relationship you may have with this person that you never even realize that they exist, if I can put that in a picture and they can see they have their world, they have their own life as much as we do. Our life is so dramatic. Every day is a drama. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It feels like at a time. But then also those drama also happens to other people too. And we often forget that. So just kind of opening up the world to people who don't know anything about, really, is to introduce um, the way we live, the way we have to deal with. For example, in 37 seconds, it's about a girl with a disability, right? Challenges, physical challenges. But she's just like us. There's no difference. And I think by showing and introducing how they have to deal with their everyday life, getting in a wheelchair is a whole 10 minutes work, right? Getting in the bus is a
Yeah.
whole another 20 minutes of work, right? Being with somebody is to be loved, to have the basic things that they are able-bodied, right? People who experience normally is a very challenging for some people, right? Some of us. So for me, uh, putting the lights on those spotlights on our friends, and having the understanding, and just say that we're all here, we're all the same. It would help us to, I don't know, build this beautiful community that we can help out each other. That's kind of like how I had in my mind.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
cinema is an empathy machine. 100%. When you
Yeah.
watch a
Yeah.
film
I
and
love that. Cinema is an empathy machine. Oh, 100%. I love that.
you
For sure.
watch 37 seconds, and I've never seen a film that
Mm,
depicts someone with cerebral palsy that way as a true
mm,
human being and follows their journey as a protagonist.
yeah.
Wow. like that's a major contribution to cinema. So tell us a
Thank
bit about how did you come across the story and the casting and everything?
you.
How do you make a movie like this?
So it's a quite a long journey. I was trying to find something that was writing a lot of different kinds of scripts, and nothing was really hitting. And there's one movie that I really liked. The first movie, the short film I made, that was like, oh, I want to make this into a feature, but it's a period piece. And so I was like, oh, it's gonna cost a lot of money to do my first feature. Nobody's gonna give me that money, so let's put that aside. And then I was just introduced to this documentary, very short, 10 minutes documentary about this Japanese comic book artist, but they do adult comic. And there is a lot of female artists who does adult comic. And adult comic is a huge industry, right? In Japan, it's like a hentai crazy thing, like,
Mm-hmm.
and as I was like, wow, that I had no idea. So from there, I started interviewing people with a female comic book artist who does adult comic, and I find out sometimes like about 10% people, some people never had sex before. They're still
Wow.
virgins, but they still can draw this incredible adult comic. Sometimes the octopus comes in and like they just like wrap around some crazy shit too. But and it was like, there's like the fantasy, the idea that they have, the what the sex could be, um was something that it really drawn to their attention, that they wanted to write this whole epic comic. It's like, whatever, 80 pages. So I thought it was interesting, so I started interviewing some of the people. And along the way, I met this gentleman, Kuma-chan, who's also in the movie. He's in another cerebral palsy gentleman
Mm.
who's in a wheelchair. I met him, and he introduced me to a lot of different kind of people. And then one day he came to America, and he asked me to be a translator and also shooter for this documentary he was trying to do. And then I met this doctor who was a sexual, he's a surrogate for sexual, how do I say, sexual needs, yeah,
Mm.
actually sex therapist, basically. And she was the movie called The Session, there's a session. She was a model for that. Helen Hunt's portray her as well. In that conversation, in that interview, I find out that the women who are wheelchair and who are paralyzed can actually have an orgasm,
Wow.
even though you don't feel anything when you're ready to do. When after you eat, they have to time it to go to the bathroom to release whatever they need to release, right? They don't feel that, but then when perhaps some people, when they have intercourse, they're able to have orgasm. I thought it was like such a beautiful thing as a human body. And so I start interviewing all the people with the disability. And then I find out that the people with the women, all there's some people can have natural birth, right? Like, and I
Wow.
was like, so my story was very much of how the human body, women's body works, and how giving a natural birth, even though you can't really push, the baby are ready to come out. And I thought there's something beautiful
Mm-hmm.
about it. So started writing the story, and I wrote about this kind of basic of the idea about this girl. And it was very much of a, awakening, and a little bit of love interest, story, and a little bit of drama. But then when I started auditioning all the girls with the disabilities, and May, who played the lead in 37 Seconds, she showed up,
Mm-hmm.
and she was the last person to come to audition. And she was in a wheelchair. She is in a wheelchair, but she was able to do everything the way we do. She just have a little bit of construction, restraining for her physicality because of the muscle. But I just fell in love with her. Her voice was so
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, and we auditions, and my heart I just knew. And so we cast her. We wrote the whole story, not whole, like about 60% of the story. And I find out that she had a twin sister, and from there I wrote a story. Yeah. Yeah. So for me, writing a story is really evolves, and especially for this one, I really want it to be as organic as possible. She never acted before, although she did incredible. It was her first time ever acting, and So yeah, I wanted to be as close to, what her experiences has been, and see where it takes. So that was the whole journey.
What a beautiful journey.
Wow, that's amazing. Uh,
Thank you.
I'm curious a bit about so why did you like focus on cerebral palsy instead of maybe like, maybe someone with Down syndrome or someone who's like, I don't, yeah, just like why
Sure.
cerebral
I
palsy?
I auditioned everybody. Like
Mm,
I didn't wanna just say I want somebody who's paralyzed, whatever.
mhm,
So I auditioned every single person. Like there's just some
Yeah.
couple people that showed up. I had a lady who came in a bed, right? And with like three people who
Wow.
came to support. Yeah. And I wanted to, and then that's another part. The process. I used to act a little bit and go to auditions and such, and the process of it is such a
Mm,
experience itself.
mhm,
So I put up the bill, basically, the notification everywhere in Japan, including the sports club, including the people with the right disabilities, like the school, like everywhere. We sent it to like a
yeah.
900 facilities, and anybody, and then post it on Facebook, Instagram, like all around the social media, right? YouTube, everything. And I said, anybody who wants to come audition, please come, and we'll see what happens. Because I wanted to go in and open minded. Um, Rewrites always happen, right, in screenplay. So
Yeah, of course.
and then after watching every single person, there's a little over 100 people. Some of them I had to do over Skype. Back then there was no Zoom yet. A couple years before Zoom became Zoom. So we Skyped, and people around the world, some people like from UK, some people from
mm.
Middle East, all of it.
Wow.
But then in the end, as a director, you pick the person you feel the right most. And so yeah, the girls who were we had a person who had a Down syndrome, and she was incredible too, right? But for this particular role, Mei Chan, she stole my heart.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Amazing.
That's a good story. Yeah.
yeah, thank you.
Howdy.
Yes. So, what's it like for you to work with non-actors, first-time actors,
Yeah.
comedians, painters, artists, and then you have pro actors, Brendan Fraser, Stephen Young, like
Yeah,
amazing, and you're
yeah,
getting them to do a huge range of emotions in one piece, the
right,
comedy, the anger, the sadness, the wholesomeness. Okay,
right.
what's that like for you?
Oh my God. That's a great question. Nobody asked that question before. I love it. That's the working with the actors are my favorite. I have to say, my favorite part of filmmaking. Like, obviously there's a design and this and cinematography, all of it. That's also, I love it too. But that excites me, whether if that person is non-actor or pro actors like Brendan or Stephen Yoon,
Hmm.
right? So everybody has a different process. So I just fit into how they want to do it, right? Like if Steven, for example, genius. I'm
Hmm.
like always trying to work with him. I'm trying to send him scripts. Like, do you like it? Can we do it again? And but he's somebody like he knows as soon as he finished his first take, and he knows what he needs to fix. And I'll just ask him something very simple, and he'll do it. And what he does is could be sometimes very simple, but it's just scene changes, like dynamic changes. Like he's literally genius. Brendan Fraser, exactly the same way. He does a lot remote, right? So I talked to him
Hmm.
a little bit, but and also I talk a lot for Rental Family with Brendan. I talked to him where he was coming from in that moment, right? And if it was somebody like uh, the little girl from Rental Family, that was her first time acting as well. And then Mei Chan, I really go down into their eye level and talk to them as if that they are that person, and talk to them as we are living in that moment. So talking to us like, hey, your mom is saying this, what are you going to do about it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is that how you're gonna get mad, or So I kind of go into that level of
Hmm.
we are in this together, and I'm gonna help you get to that place, right? And comedian like Ali Wong, she's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
She's so funny. She's so incredible. And for that
Mm-hmm.
role, she was, she never done dramatic role before, and she was
Mm-hmm.
very kind and open enough to say, hey, I never done this before, so tell me what I need to do. I didn't have to do much because she was incredible, and she was at the end, she was like, drama is easier than comedy. And I was like, yeah, yeah, totally, comedy is harder. You're trying to make people laugh without trying too hard, right? um but for her, it was just like pulling it down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Ali is such a big, beautiful personality, and that's how she is. That's who she is on stage. So for me, my job was to take it back and then bring back to the character, like who is she? What is she's going through in that moment, right? And then a painter. I don't know. David Cho is my great friend, and
Wow.
Joe, Joseph. He's done a bunch of acting before too, so it was quite easy. But David was like, "I'll just go fucking wild. I don't care. Be you, because that's what we like about you to play this role, right?" So it's like, fuck it. And then I will just do a little bit of adjustment. Like, you can go push a little bit farther, or like, it's for that for him. I remember some of the scenes. I would just say, take a moment here. After you say this moment, take a bit and then look at him, stare at him for like 5 seconds, right? Just those little techniques,
Mm-hmm.
but then be you still. And he's very smart, so he'll just, David would be like, okay, great, and he does that. So every person is different. Every single actor is.
Wow.
I'm sure every director will tell you exactly the same thing. But for me, that's the part that I enjoyed the most. Being on set and working with actors, just like I'm like addicted to it.
It
Yeah.
seems like you're working with so many different styles of people, and you have to do so many different styles of processes, and then you're also mixing, different actors together all in
Yeah.
one scene that all have
Yeah.
different experiences and different styles.
Yeah.
Wow.
And when you
Have
don't
you
have time, it sucks. You're like, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this. And then there's like a 15, 10 people. It's like, oh shit, I'm in trouble.
right? And so, do you have a lot of time to do like rehearsals, or do you
I
just
usually ask for rehearsals. Yes,
I
I
see.
definitely do. I did a lot of theater in the past. I come from
Mm-hmm.
theater. So rehearsal time is very important. Just at least they know the fundamental, like what the character is, what the journey is. And then actors, any professional actors, or if somebody new, I'll just say, take a moment, take a note, right? If the great actors, like everybody, they just know they already did their homework and they're just learning about how we want to portray this character in this moment. So we practice, we rehearse on that. We play around, like different way of saying the lines, different way of like not saying a line, but different way of the pace, right? Like all these things, like how do you say it, how he says it, how she says it, walking, sitting, whatever that is. So we practice those and see what feels most natural. That's also another fun part, because you get to discover a lot about the actors and characters, but then also about your script too. What you're writing, I was like, that sounds like I heard it before, so let me change it to something else, right? And then somebody who never done it before, like his first time, I try not to do many rehearsal with them.
Mm,
I will just do once or twice, just read through, because I
interesting.
cast them for a reason, because
Mm-hmm.
they're already great and what they brought to audition was incredible. So I don't want to touch it too much. And then first timers, if they start rehearsing too much, they just start acting, and I hate it.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, that was, you just acted, didn't you? All right, let's take it back. Let's go again, right? Um, so for them, I just tell them to memorize the lines as much as you can. Like, you have to
Mm,
be waking up, saying the line, sleeping, saying the line. When you come, all you have to do is just say the line. But in that moment, in the scene, I say, pay attention to what the other person is saying, because your line's there. Trust yourself. And then when you see that person, when he start talking, just react to what he's saying, what she's saying. No, that's kind of how I
wow.
do
Yes, it seems like you have so many different approaches. Some of it is you trying to catch them in real time, the real reactions, and then some of it is building a scene and character dynamics through rehearsal.
Yeah.
Very very cool because you're one person, you're one director, but you're trying to do many different things, and I
Yeah.
love that about your work. And it's
Thanks.
Hikari project's always very surprising. We watch your short films, and you have
Oh
period
wow.
pieces, you have comedy, like goofy comedies, you have sci-fi.
Yeah.
So tell us about like finding your voice as an artist. How do you do that?
I think I'm just in a way I'm greedy when it comes to filmmaking. I um I just like to trying everything, you know. I got a I got a great opportunity to try Tokyo Vice. There's nothing
Hmm.
comedy about that. It's all drama, right? People jumping off the building and shooting and stabbing, and that was also a lot of. It was so intense, but it was a lot of fun. Um, Sci-fi is always something I always loved to do. Because I know that we're not the only people in this universe.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
animation I've done within the sci-fi story.
Hmm.
Animation, I grew up with anime, so I can't. That's something that I always wanted to try. And then for me, before a bunch of things that I tried was short films. For me, it was kind of like a business card. I was thinking, like, if I'm going to put my year or 6 months or 10 months on this, when I'm ready to make my first feature film, and after make my first feature film, so hey, I've done this before, right? I've done this before, and then also I know myself that I can do it, and so that was a lot of practice for me. But I don't know. That's life. Kind of life is comedy. Life is drama. Life is like sometimes you want to be go on a spaceship and fly over, but you can't. So we'll make a movie, right? And then animation is like another. I don't know, like a fantasy world that we can't be there, but we can create. You know, um, I just love anything and everything about storytelling. So I don't want to like lock myself into I'm just gonna only do horror. I'm only gonna do science fiction. I'm only doing
Hmm.
this. Like I want to try everything. Um, yeah. So I have like everything that I have right now lined up, or trying to see what happens in with what's happening in the world. But
Hmm.
the next movie I'm gonna be, hopefully, knock on wood, be doing with is CGI animation, right? Well,
Wow.
animation, a human. It's kind of like a Paddington, it's
Wow.
exactly like Paddington, but with
Okay.
snowmen.
So cool.
Yeah, it's so cool, and the story is so good, so good. So that's hopefully
Yeah.
that'll be my next one, and
Can't
I
wait
have a
for that one.
story. Yeah. And then I have sci-fi, science fiction, great actors attached. I
Ooh,
have
okay.
a baseball movie. Uh, I love baseball so much. Grew up with
Interesting.
it in Japan. Yeah, I have a love story. And yeah, I'm just keep hustling, keep hustling.
The only thing you're missing is like a martial arts.
Oh, you know what? Man, that's something. Whoo! I met this incredible actors. I went to see that movie. Oh, my brain is blanking.
The
The
Furious?
the
No.
one the crazy Japanese director directed it. What's the movie that just came out? What is it called?
The
Furious?
Furious. Yes, that's a Hong Kong movie that just came out.
Was
The
it Hong?
Furious.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so. Just came out. The guy,
Hmm.
the daughter is kidnapped.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Hmm.
Oh my God. I want
Martial
to see that.
arts.
Martial arts.
Fabulous.
I met all the filmmakers and actors. Oh, the whole 2 hours. I was like, oh, you just like, you're like, oh my God. Like I'm moving like last time I was watching. It's like,
Ah.
and I met I was lucky enough to meet the actors, the lead actors and directors, and they're like, when are you going to do the martial arts movies? Like, let's write a script. I want to do
Wow.
it. So we're talking now. But I did martial arts as a kid. I did Shaolin martial arts,
Oh
and
wow.
the lead actor, he was in Shaolin, the Jet Li, the
Mm.
original Shaolin, and he played the little son of Jet. Was it Jet Li? Yeah, I think. And I watched that movie when I was taking Shaolin martial arts. So I knew him and how I wanted to become a martial artist for like, just short time as a kid. So yeah, so hopefully we get to do action movie. It has to be comedy though for this one. Like
Amazing.
really over the top comedy. I think that was really fun. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, the director can be my action director, and yeah, we can make something fun together. Yeah.
Hikari, I'm curious about like what's your favorite emotion to express through your movies? If you
What's
had like
my
one emotion that you would choose.
Oh my God, I don't know if I have answered. I don't know if I can answer to that. One emotion, favorite emotion. Oh my God, that's a hard one because I don't know. What does everybody else says?
Love with a vending machine.
Love with the vending machine. That's good. Love with the vending machine. Yeah, fall in love. Love story is always something that I love to do, whether it's with a vending machine or ghost or human,
Yeah.
whatever, aliens. We can make that up. Um, wow. I have to say compassion if there's a
Mm.
feeling, something that
Hmm.
builds. I'm sorry if I'm not, if I'm answering that question, right answer.
No, you are. I can see the
Whole,
compassion in the movies, to be honest, that
Mm-hmm.
you've made.
oh, thank
Like
you. That
definitely
could be
how.
like go ahead, say.
No, no. I was just gonna say it's like I think the learning lessons that you provide through your movies about compassion is very admirable, and
Mm,
not only in 37 seconds, also even in the short movie that we were watching the other day about you know the woman who lives on the farm and she has
mm,
she has her two kids, but her true love leaves her and goes to Tokyo, and
mhm,
it shows you like also like the compassion of our mother's choice as well. So it's like
mm,
you're showing compassion from many different aspects and different
mm.
avenues, just through people's raw emotions. It's like uh, it just reminds people that okay, we are still humans. We have these feelings. Please don't turn into robots and don't
Right.
lose this aspect of yourself.
Thank you. That's a Tsiako, right? The thesis of short
Mm-hmm.
film. That was my first short film
Yeah.
I made. Yeah, thank you. It was based on kind of inspired from my grandmother's story. Yeah, but
Wow.
I, yeah, I found a picture of my grandmother after 10 years after she passed away. And
Yeah.
when I found that photo, it just like the story just came to me and I felt so much love. And I was like, wow. And it was about, hit her being with another woman. And she's not somebody who's, old school. She never smiles in the picture, right? But this one, she had this very
Okay.
genuine smile. And the story just came to me. So I wrote it. And but yeah, I think it's who are we to judge anybody, right? I think that's also questions that
Yeah.
I always ask. Like we're all the same, regardless your gender or ethnicity. Who are you to judge any of us, right? I think it's
Hmm.
for me the compassion, telling a story about individuals and how we all feel and how we all want to live our lives in a way that some people may not know, right? But
Yeah. Yeah.
sharing the truth about humanity and what we need through cinema would again, hopefully, I'm hoping to open up a conversation, and you can when you meet somebody you never met before and you're like, oh well, I admit that I saw that movie that I'll never see, I never expected to see, somebody like you, right? Somebody who is Lebanon is going to
Mm-hmm.
watch. I actually my play movie also played at festivals. I think it was in Lebanon. This is like 15 years ago, so it's been a while.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
it's a they will never have understanding or never even think about the story like that or people
Mm-hmm.
like that have that life, but having that
Right.
experience that people perhaps meet LGBTQ community and then people, they would understand what does it take to love somebody, how simple that
Hmm.
seems is, but for countries like obviously Middle East, like
Mm-hmm.
it's impossible, right?
Mm-hmm.
To love the same
Right.
sex, and then but then there is the love is never changed; it's always the same. That's something I wanted to tell through that movie. But yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate
No, it
you
was really
noticed.
good. I'm and also another movie I never expected to watch was like Can and Solchu. That
That's so
was
true.
I was telling Ali, I was like, this is such a creative story. I would never have like imagined this happening. And then the plot twist in the end where it's like the vending machines like I don't want to ruin it for whoever's gonna watch it, but like the vending the voice turns out to be his neighbor. I'm like, wow, okay, that's such a plot twist. How
And
can you
she's
tell us any
always
more
wearing this
actually
like
of
a
how
sun visor. You don't see her face, and she's gorgeous.
like I want to understand like how was this idea conceived? Like where did this come from?
Honestly, side everything that I think a lot of things that I write and or come up with ideas. Definitely parts of my life is being embedded into
Mm.
the story. Like rental family is the same way too. I was raised by a single
Yeah.
mom who lied to me all the time. I didn't have she said my dad was like this famous actor at one point. So that part of it was included.
Mm,
But for Ken and Suro-chan, that movie particularly was literally when I made a movie called A Better Tomorrow previous year for Lexus and
okay.
the one studio financing company that we premiered in Cannes. They when I was there to prep that movie, I have been living in LA or in America for such a long time, and I have never really lived in Tokyo for amount of time. For like I was there for like 3 months even, and I got really lonely. Like there's so many people, and I was just like so lonely. And I walked around and my neighborhood, and as I passed this like really old little tiny vending machine, not even like on the street, like on the corner of this like a
Yeah.
little hole was
Hidden.
there, and I walked by and it says konnichiwa. And I was like, what? Who just said konnichiwa to me? I was like, what? And I went back and I tried to find like who did just talk to me? And then it's like and I saw this like a little, it's an old one though, it's not brand new one, it's like old one, just like 80s style. I used to buy drinks for those drinks as a kid too.
Yeah.
And then just like speaking to me, I was like, here, you take all my money, everything I got. I want to keep talking to you. Take my money. Here's my orange juice. Here's my Coca-Cola, whatever. And then the little vending machine just said konnichiwa. And then when he came out, it says arigato, right? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hello and
Yeah.
thank you. And that was my idea, was just that. And then there's a lot of foreigner lives in again Tokyo, and I was
Mm-hmm.
always a
Yeah.
foreigner. I have been a foreigner here in America, so I just wanted to flip that idea, right? Just like mental family. And then again, like
I mean that,
Sochan, he's Indian scientist from India,
Mm.
yeah.
um, and and he felt lonely being around, and
Hmm.
it's always something. And then I think loneliness comes from all different corners. It doesn't have to be you're in a different
100%.
parts of the world. There's you feel lonely wherever you are, right? Even in your hometown.
Of course.
So I wanted to see if there's kind of introducing, it's kind of like similar to rental family too, is that if you think that your world is just this, but then you open up, you actually have friends in your neighborhood. For example, this woman was, he said hi, but he never really had a conversation before, and now he's gonna make a new friend, right? So just opening up your view to the world, and then you have so much discover. So you discover so much in your life, and that was kind of like saying, yeah, like why not try that before you decide on anything else, you know?
100%. Loneliness is definitely a very relatable theme because
Yeah,
everyone has felt lonely at some point in their life,
for
especially if they're
sure.
like moving to a new area, a new country, or they're in a situation where it's just something is different from what they're used to. They're
Yeah,
they're gonna feel that emotion,
absolutely.
which
And then,
is
yeah, totally. And then also there's a depression, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's a real thing. people don't even
Right.
realize it.
Yeah.
And then we need to again have a compassion, people who are depressed or who are going through something very heavy, to really hold their hands and you're gonna be fine, even though
Hmm.
it's a hard things to go through, hard topic to talk through. And somebody like me would have never understand how individual go through, but at least all I can do is to say, hey, it's okay, let's just go get a drink, let's even for that moment, right? I
I think
and then also,
comedy also helps a lot with that. It's just like
oh
kind of
yeah. Mm.
laugh in the situation, or like, try to make a joke out of, obviously not too, don't overdo it,
Mhm.
but like trying to make light of the situation does help, and people should look for that to like kind of get out of it, because
I
you
absolutely.
want to find you want to find something positive in your life if you're feeling depressed. So like
Mhm.
try to find something good, and then like hold on to it. So then other things start becoming a bit more positive. Like,
Yeah,
that's kind of the
absolutely.
approach.
There's amazing, like so many great comedy movies out there. Like one of my
Hmm.
favorite movies
Yeah.
is like Tropic Thunder. It's like you can
Yes.
never make fun of love. Oh my God.
Yes.
Ben Stiller is genius.
Yes.
Robert Downey Jr.
Oh
is
my
genius.
God.
Every
Hmm.
single person in that movie is
Even the
genius.
cameo from Tom Cruise in that movie was
I
insane. I
know,
like
it's
that.
so
Hmm.
I
good.
never thought I'd see Tom Cruise, in a fat suit acting as this
I
like
know.
overly greedy businessman.
I know, it's
Never
so
thought.
Tom does such an incredible job. Like I miss those roles that he plays too, because he's been such an
Yeah, of
incredible, right, actor doing all this Mission Impossible,
Hmm.
But I love when he does those
course.
roles. But comedy really helps, and just like that movie always get me. Like or any comedy that I love. I love Elf, Christmas
Hmm.
movie. I love
Yeah.
the movie like my pandemic movie was what was it? This whatever saga. Yeah, Eurovision with
Oh wow.
Will Ferrell and Rachel
Yes.
McAdams.
Okay.
I watch that movie
I
like
did see
over
that
and
one.
over.
That's
It's,
really
it's
funny.
really great,
Yes.
and that scene is amazing. It's like
That's so
it's
funny.
so good, and then it just gets you just forget about sit back and
Hmm.
watch it, and just eat the popcorn or whatever, and just laugh.
Yeah, of course.
Forget about your
Who?
life. And then I think something I
eh,
love doing that too. I mean, if I can, I try to give that 20
Yeah.
minutes of, if it's a drama or a comedy or, or something like Rental Family, just give that escape to go to somewhere else, you know, in your
Hmm.
living room, basically, and experience life through the lead characters is something that I always like to give. But, the movie has that power.
All
So
right.
you were going to say
I just
something,
want to
say,
ask. Yeah, I just want to ask one more question before we go into Rental Family, because like definitely Rental Family is the big movie that we want to talk about. Um,
okay.
since we're talking about like cameos, who is like an actor that you would like to have maybe a bizarre cameo in one of your movies, or like in your future movies, and
Oh
what kind of like role would they have?
I I think, I mean, working with Tom Cruise would be so hilarious.
Yes.
Like he's such an incredible human being too. Like when you meet him, he's like right there with you. Like he's so focused and
Yeah.
such a professional, such a professional. I love him so much. Tom will be great. The people that who don't think they're gonna play that role, anybody
Hmm.
you can think of, like um I don't know. I think I love to work with oh my gosh, there's so many actors and actresses I want to work with. But somebody like Tom playing roles like that would be a dream come true. I think it would be really hilarious. Um, yeah. Eddie Redmayne is an incredible actor too. He's
Hmm.
also kind of, he can play
Yeah.
anything. And I think that would be a funny, good, fun things to play. I also love to work with like directors like Scorsese or
Hmm.
Martin, or
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like him acting my movie would be a dream come true, right?
Wow.
Oh my
Yeah,
God. What-
yeah.
That would be an interesting thing to see, Scorsese acting. Oh, Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in, he always play little parts here and there, and
Cameos.
then that, I mean, even just a scene, I mean, a lot of directors are incredible actors too. You just
Mm-hmm.
don't know it. Spike
Spike
Spike Lee.
Jones. Yeah,
Spike Jones.
Yeah.
Spike
Mm-hmm.
Jones. He played.
Tarantino as
I
well,
was
and his
watching
Spike Jones.
yeah, Wolves of Wall Street last night,
Mm-hmm.
and then the night before I was watching Moneyball, and just kind of bring up all the good, all incredible movies. And he's in both. It was like, oh, he's in both, and he's great in both. And so yeah, I love to work with that directors.
Would you ever yourself act in a movie that you make or
I
can make?
have. I was in Ken Tsuru-chan. I was playing the
Mm-hmm.
Japanese teacher in a little computer. I don't know if you saw me.
Oh wow,
But whenever
maybe a
my
little
friends,
younger.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so
I
funny.
did because like you had longer hair, so I didn't like
yeah,
connect the dots. So I was
that's me.
Wow.
okay. Yeah, that is you.
Yeah.
Oh.
If I were to play camera, I'm just gonna do the one that I pre-record myself, and I don't have to do acting in front of the camera. I'm so self like I would just hate myself. I'm looking at the monitor. I was like, I can't even look at it.
No, it was great.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of commercials and music videos in front of the camera in my 20s, and that's how I kind of started it, um, my career. But I can only watch those because I'm not acting in it. I'm just dancing or I'm
Mm-hmm.
just doing this silly
Mm.
little bit, right? And so I love that short part of it. But if I were to act in anything in the future, I've never seen my acting. Like I was on set, did my thing, came back, I never watch it. Like even though they send me DVDs or videos or screening, I never go. I just like always do this when I can watch myself. But I have acted before with my friends' movies, and so if anybody needs a Japanese woman, I can play anything.
Let's go.
Just cast me in it. Just I will be whatever. Oh, I played a tour guide actually. This movie, my dear friend and somebody who I love, Bill Doug. He was in. He made this movie years ago with Eva Mendes.
Mhm.
This is over like 15 years
Oh.
ago, and I played the Japanese tourist, like ridiculous, the Japanese tourist. So you might be able to find that movie. So me playing, yeah.
Amazing.
Hikari, so getting into rental family, we
Sure.
kind of like obviously as foreigners, we don't understand what is the concept of renting a family? Like what is this
Right.
culture that exists? Like whoever's listening, I don't think they'll understand. It's like, oh, we're talking about rental families. Like, okay, what do you mean?
Rental family. Yeah.
Maybe we
I
can
tell
start
you.
by like identifying what's that.
Yeah, sure. So rental family is an agency, right? Agencies that provide services that the whatever actually clients needs. Like you can ask from like, hey, I need somebody to change my light bulb,
Mhm.
and I because you are hired by hourly. Once you change the light bulb, and you can say, well, do you want to have a sit and have a tea with me? Happens a lot to the older women, older
Mm.
people. They're lonely, they've
Yeah.
been alone for a long time, and they want somebody to talk to, and they're relatively shy to go out and make friends, and so therefore they can ask for those services. um but how so you it I'll tell you a history of it real quick. So how it started was
Okay.
back in the 80s, when this
Mhm.
whole business, like in the Japan, was like, it was busy ass country of all
Mhm.
time, making cars, all this technology was booming, and so the company told their employees, who are coming from very countryside, hey, you can stay here during the summer break and work for us, and we'll give you extra salary, and I will hire somebody to go to your parents' house and pretend to be you, your wife, and your kids. And do you want to
Wow.
do that, or do you want to spend all the money and take all your family to go back home, which is going to cost you like $2,000 to go on the trip to back home, right? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
So somebody says, I'll take A. And they send
Wow.
out this family member, and then the parents are actually okay with it. the parents were like, oh yeah, because I don't do my, it's been like a year or two since your kids grown, and at the time they had no video chat or anything like that, right? They only talk on the phone.
Yeah.
They don't even know what they look like. Maybe they get the pictures or whatever, but then the kid who showed up kind of looks like them. And the cool part was that they were very happy, because if these family would come to visit, they have to they have to serve them. But then the people who came to, who were hired to serve their needs, or just pretend to be their in-laws and kids and grandchildren, they were very helpful. So they cleaned, they cooked, and they were like the spotless when they lived, right? So
Yeah.
that was, I thought it was kind of like silly, but then that was kind of beginning of it for the whole business. But then it just kind of like escalated from there, and then it's just going back to the loneliness, right? Like
Yeah.
the one example I
Hmm.
just talked about. In Japan, in the Japanese culture, there's a word called honne to tatemae. Honne is a true feeling, tatemae is facade.
Mm.
The fact that
Okay.
words exist as a language
Honne
is,
patemai.
yeah, honne to tatemae. And people says, I go, you don't show your true feeling. You just always have this
Mm-hmm.
facade. So
Right.
traditionally, you're like, that's why Japanese people are very polite,
Mm-hmm.
very respectful. And then there's a beauty in that, but then within themselves, some people don't know how to express themselves. So
Hmm.
people start hiring those people. They also have this thing called a crying session, because they put their feelings so deep for so many years, they don't know how to cry anymore. So they bring all these
Oh God.
people who
Yeah.
wants to, individuals come together, watch a little dog lost puppy roaming around in the city, or little kittens without the parent, cats, right? And then they'll start crying, and it's just that act of coming together in the community that people share. It really helped them heal their need, or whatever they had in their heart was able to let go. So there's a lot of those that business that happens, but rental family businesses eventually came to that. And then there's another beautiful story that I always talk about it, and that was one of the first interview or article that we read back in 2009 when we're doing the research.
Mm-hmm.
Was that there's a man who were in deathbed. He was giving a couple months or whatever. He wanted to connect with his daughter, stranded daughter, who would never come see him, right? He doesn't even have a phone number. It's been so many years. So he wanted to hire somebody to come, show up to his doorstep or hospital, and just sat and just listen, and so that he can apologize to what happened in the past, and for her to
Yeah.
forgive him, right? So um, he found it. He went through the pictures. He found somebody who looks like her, and then she showed up the day he asked, and just sat, no introduction, nothing. He just sat as if she was
Wow.
his daughter, and they talked. And in the end, she said, "It's okay. I forgive you. I love you. Thank you for everything. And I'm so sorry.
Wow.
I've been around for you for a long time." And I don't remember if they continued their relationship, because it wasn't said. But you could also ask that person, you can pay that person to continue to come visit you every day if you choose to. You just
Mm-hmm.
have to pay hourly rate, right? But then this guy, gentleman, was finally able to let go. And then I think there's
Hmm.
something beautiful in that. And there's some people that who hires a lot of, group of the mother or son or daughters after losing family members from tsunami, right? The gentleman was the only person who were survivors, and he lost, and his entire family was wiped, right, overnight. And
Wow.
he,
That's
instead of him when he's has a birthday, he brings people, he wants to bring people over on each kid's birthday,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's
yeah.
those are very, very hard topic to talk about. And then, we thought about it. We went through so many different versions of the script as well. Me and
Mm-hmm.
Steve Playhat, my writing partner. What would be the story that we want to tell? And I mean, there's thousands, and I can, literally make a sequel to this. Um, Yeah, but we landed on the story that we wanted to tell. There's a really beautiful monologue that we ended up not using for the final cut, but it talks about Aiko, her experience as a why she started this job. And the job was because she walked into this room and this woman wanted to comb her hair. They spoke nothing for an hour. She just combed her hair. One day she breaks down and then start apologizing for what that she couldn't be there when her daughter passed away. And then this woman was healed, right? And then in that process, Aiko's character, she was also healed because the people who I believe that who come join this agency, sign up to this agency, also need some kind of connection with people. So you're
Right.
making money, but you're also kind of getting what you are receiving more than what you expect. You're there to help somebody else, and
Hmm.
you can literally receive the happiness in that moment
Wow.
directly. So not to go over the time, but I wanted to kind of tell a story that like what does that look like if we were to make it into a movie, and
Right.
yeah,
It's a very
That's a
strange
very beautiful
thing
story.
because
yeah.
we don't see it, outside of Japan, and at first, you ask yourself, is this something good for people or is this something unhealthy for people? But it seems from what I'm hearing from you that it has that therapeutic, you know, effect on the people that do the rental family. So it is something positive that maybe the rest of the world should start adopting.
Honestly, absolutely. As long as you do a background check of the people who's going to, right? And then some people like you really kind of have to, you want to make sure that you're welcoming some crazy ass person to your home,
Yeah.
and that could happen too. But I think, I think I think it's helpful. And then also in Japan, we do have a therapist, but it's not really a typical way to deal with your emotion,
Mm,
because mental illness are stigmatized in our country. If somebody says I'm seeing a therapist, people think, oh my god, like you're seeing therapist, and then people don't like to be obviously judged. So this is kind of like a casual way. And how would anybody else would know that you're renting somebody, you're paying that hourly person to be your friend for an hour or two? Nobody. You can say,
right.
yeah, this is my friend. And then over the years, what we learned is that they actually become good friends. And people says like, I don't have money, so I have to cut this friendship anymore. And if that person say, you know what, I kind of like hanging out with you,
Hmm.
so let's just be friends, and they can continue that relationship if the talent choose to, right? The person who signed up for the agency, and the vice versa, that the people who become a family member within the renter family business, that they also become a kind of like a fake family, and they call each other mom, dad,
Wow.
brothers and sisters, and then that's kind of like a beautiful about something beautiful about it too, right?
Hmm.
So for me, it's if there's any harm in connecting people, strangers, to make themselves feel good for that day or make them feel positive, and there's somebody there to support, and I think why not? Like again, who are we to judge?
Hmm. I
Like
Right.
who are
100%.
we to judge?
There's the family
um
that you're born with and the family that you get along your life, the
yeah,
friends and
yeah.
family that you
And then
build.
I think
Hmm.
it's like a culture, like our Asian culture, Japanese culture,
Hmm.
Chinese culture, like Lebanese culture. The families are very
Hmm.
tight. Like the blood is
Yeah.
what you're going for. You don't really welcome anybody else. You don't consider them as your family. But then there are people who don't have that. And then even though you have that, and if your family are all fucked and you don't like them, you hate them so much every
Hmm.
Christmas. I'm like, why am I even here? Then why would you push yourself, right, to be with that family? I mean, you can deal with it for one day in
Hmm.
a year, even though they're crazy. But then, like, you have to, and along the time, you can have somebody you can talk to,
I
and yeah, I
Yeah.
think there's nothing wrong with it.
I love how
I,
you explore those themes throughout your work. We know it's from your very first short film. There's the mother that's a bit overbearing and toxic
mhm.
and being a bit rude, and that continues with 37 seconds too, where the mother is a bit the helicopter parent and overbearing, and she gets really mad at her daughter. So
Right.
yes, well, tell us about
All
living up
come
to
from
the.
love, right? All come from love. It's. I think as long as that doesn't turn into a horror movie, I think that she starts out with a good. I want to make sure that my daughter is protected, but then you realize that the daughter has grown, and then she has to also realize it that it's time to let her go. So yeah. Anyway,
That's
sorry, I didn't mean to.
no, no, that's amazing. That's kind of what we want to ask you about, like that, living up to the expectations of your parents, and
Mm-hmm.
um, I know that's something you write about. Is that something that you had to, go through, and how is it adding your own personal stories to, for the world to see?
Mm. Living up my parents' wish, luck, I never did that. I was, um, yeah, my mom was incredible human being, an incredible liar who I love so much. She was hustling. She was a single mom who was like
Mm-hmm.
trying to, she knew she can't control me. No way she can control me. And then she let me do whatever I wanted to do, which I'm so grateful for. And I'll tell all the parents, it's like, kids has their own brain. If you have a problem, don't put them down to where they don't want to be. Let them do whatever they want to do, because you don't know what's inside of their head and what there could be, right? Um,
Right.
but so again, like for me, coming up with a character or story, I like overcoming something. I think that's something that I always think about. You have
Mm-hmm.
something you want to do, but you want to overcome it. As you're doing it in the process, you meet people, you learn something about yourself and then about the world, right? And then while doing that, the person who's giving the pressure also get to learn, because that's kind of what life is all about. So for me, as much as I was born in very freely, raised in a free environment, and my family let me do, my mom, grandparents, my sister always helped me with everything I wanted to do. I did go through a lot of hardship with adults mostly as a
Mm-hmm.
kid. The society that I grew up in, I felt like I was very pressured into something that I was not, even from a young age. I didn't understand in Japan, Japanese culture, that the why women are different than men, why we're less. Why can't we take judo class or karate
Mm-hmm.
class while, and then girl, while boys are taking those classes, and then we have to take home ec, how to
Mm-hmm.
cook. And then I'm sure the boys felt the
Yeah.
same way too, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but then that's how we taught the women were supposed to be this way. And so early on, I just knew that I had to get out of there to learn about what else is out there. What's the world offering to me? And so for me, it was just, my first thing was just to get out of it and to just take a test. I took a test, and I got into this international exchange program. So I left the country, um, with the support of my family, obviously. But I think in the end, the story I want to tell, I just always just listen to my heart, like
Mm-hmm.
in that moment. And then I think all the creator could say the same thing. And it just in life, when you get lost and it's like, oh, what do we want to do? Answers are usually pretty here, you there's a lot of noises and a lot of internet like on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that all the
definitely.
noises can block you very easily. And then I think that's the reason why the technologies are out there, because we have so much power as a human being. Nobody notice it, but like, I mean, some people know. We have so much power, so much. We can do anything we want to do, as long as we clear our mind and really listen to our heart, and then realize like what's important to you, because that to you, you're individual, you're supposed to do, you ought to do something in this life. You're born into this world for a reason, right? Universe energy brought us to here. Now I'm talking like a spiritual leader. I'm not them. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like we all have a reason for us
Yes,
purpose.
Yeah.
Like for your
100%.
purpose is to knowing or
Mm-hmm.
watching all the movies and sharing this story with the
Mm-hmm.
world, which is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the purpose that is. All the answers, that all the message that we're supposed to get is always here. And we just have to listen to it. So yeah, moment of clarity, take a moment to be quiet, and time to time. And then I think that takes us to where we need to go. I'm totally answering questions that you did not ask.
No, incredible. But
But
it's so true. Yes. We did ask you about like finding your own voice, and my last
mhm,
question I want to ask you is
yeah.
why did you change your pen name from Mitsuyo Miyazaki to Hikari?
Mm, okay. A couple things. Mitsuyo Miyazaki, my birth name, I love. A lot of people think I am a daughter of Hayao Miyazaki, and I always have to say he doesn't know it yet. Someday I'm gonna run up to him and say, "There's my daddy." um,
Uh,
but Mitsuyo means in Chinese character, Mitsu is light, Yo is a
mm,
generation, so it's a bright generation. I love my first name too. Some people have a hard time saying my name because it's Tsu, it doesn't really exist in English
mm.
language. But then what I love is that the Mitsu is the light, and that light uh, also pronounced Hikari.
Mm.
Hikari means light in
Nice.
Japanese. And I very much, being Japanese, and the Japanese, we believe in the power of language, power of the words.
Mm-hmm.
It's called kotodama, the spirits within the words. And
Wow.
uh, and
Kotodama.
I at one day I was talking to somebody who I really respect, and I was kind of going through some, my questioning about like, okay, how do I get to where I want to go? Right, this is before I made 37 seconds, and we're just talking about the power of words, and then it was just kind of idea like if I say Hikari, whenever somebody call my name, that the universal energy will go to that person because the
Wow.
Hikari is a powerful words. And when I call my name, say I'm Hikari, I'm also receiving words. And then there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually a very good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's why I changed in 2016. And I swear to, I should, as soon as I changed to this, I got into Sundance writing lab, film business writing lab. It was kind of crazy,
Wow.
one after another. Um, I yeah, I think we're all just energy. We're made out of energy, so that's why. And try to keep yourself with just a positive mind, positive feeling towards yourself, towards others. Very hard things to do because sometimes you just want to say, why is not working? Like, what is happening here? Nothing is peaceful, but we can at least try, right? At least we can try. So the
Love that
Yeah,
name was
story.
speaking of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Saido?
that was great. Um, I just want to say, Hikari, thank you so much for hopping onto the podcast, sharing all
You're
of
very
this, like
welcome.
this beautiful energy. It's you really, you're really you're fulfilling the name of Hikari. Bringing the light to the podcast and through your
Thank
movies and
you.
just through your energy as alone. Um,
Arigato.
is yeah, it's thank you again. And are there any final words that you would like to share with our audience? Maybe also like shout out to any new projects that are going to come up soon.
Sure. Well, nothing's coming out soon because the movie takes forever to make.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I do have a Christmas movie coming up that will be from Apple. We're gonna go into production at the beginning of next year. We'll start.
Wow.
We're already doing the little prep work as well, and
Nice.
then trying working on the female samurai story.
Yes.
Do Yako, my first short film that I made. I want to do the feature version of it.
Wow.
Yeah, that'll be an epic. I'm so excited about that. We're talking about making a rental family TV show version of it. Like
Yes.
a lot.
Whoa.
And then my life
Okay.
story as an exchange student living in Utah, called Made in Utah, as a show.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
That sounds
that was
really
a whole
nice.
other story. Yeah, I so yeah, there's a lot happening. I think I just don't have enough time to sit down and I want to do like literally. And I'm so grateful the teams and people are bringing to all these opportunities, but I need to carve my time to write all that stuff. But yeah, it's a message for your audience. I think what I kind of said already, life can be very difficult, very challenging,
Mm-hmm.
and especially being a creative, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard enough to say, this is my art, watch it. How many people is going to come see? All the doubt, just shape it off, because unless you do make that first step, nothing's going to be come to fruition. Even though the first audience is 10 people, within that 10 people, one person may take you to the next level, right? One person may buy your art. I used to be a painter and I used to sell my art. And then just like every time when I put out there, it's like, oh, nobody's going to buy my art. And one person bought it and that person was a repeater. So I keep writing, painting, and then I made a living, right? So you just never know unless you try it. So if you feel a doubt, what do you want to try? Like, I don't know. And this just doesn't have to be an artist. It could be anything, business, anything. If you feel anything about it, try it. Passion is everything. So, and then the rest will just come together. Don't worry about that part. Just listen to your heart and go for it. And that would be my message to your audience.
Arigato gozaimasu, Hikari-san.
Oh, that's
Until next time. Okay.
Next time. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much. Have a good time. Have a good day. Have everything. Good luck to you. Can't wait to watch this.
Amazing. We're out.
All right.
Bye.
See you guys. Peace.
Ciao.